My name is Jim Quetone, and I grew up in and around Claremore, Oklahoma, there in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And my mother was Laura Six Killer Quetone. She grew up and went to school at Dwight Mission. And my dad was named Fred Quetone, and he grew up in western Oklahoma. Two brothers and four sisters. Living in Claremore, and with 7 of us in the family, there was someone of every age almost up to high school. And so a lot of the kids in that town, we had somebody in our family that was their same age, and they would all congregate at our house, and we played everything from softball to football to running games and rubber guns, and and sometimes we'd come up and just sit and visit and talk and play marbles and whatever. So they would come up there, and of course they never knocked on the door. They just stood out in the yard and yelled for somebody. Then pretty soon here someone else would come, and we might get together and have a ball game, or just sit and visit, or run races across the street, because across the street from us was a vacant lot. And there was a vacant lot right next to our house also. So we had a lot of room to do a lot of things. And where we lived kind of in the northern part of Claremore, and everybody from around would come up there, and we would always find some kind of game or something to do. And even during certain holidays like 4th of July, they would have a parade and go out to have a rodeo. And the parade always came by our house. And a lot of people would come up then and sit on the curb and watch the parade go by from our house. And of course they'd need a drink of water or something. Well, they could always get one at our house. I lived mostly in town. We didn't live in the country, lived in town. We really didn't have too many chores. And with as many of us in the family, the girls, of course, always helped in the kitchen and washed dishes and this kind of thing. And I guess the 3 boys, our chores were to cut the grass when it needed cutting, or make sure that in the wintertime that if it snowed, a place to walk outside and get in the car. We used to make scooters. We would get a ball bearing and build a scooter, and we would get a part of an inner tube and put in the front of it so that it would turn. And so we would get on those scooters and go around on the sidewalks all over. And then sometimes we would make stilts, and we would build a stilt, and we would see where we could walk with those stilts, walk up steps or get up on a little incline and jump off. And we just tried a lot of different things.
Did anybody ever get hurt?
Oh, well, once in a while someone would slip down, but they never really got hurt.
How'd y'all get around?
Well, we walked mostly. We had a bicycle. My older brother had a bicycle, and he would ride his bicycle, but the rest of us would walk. We would just walk wherever we needed to go. They had a lake there called Claremore Lake. And we would make excursions out to the lake, and we would walk to the lake and take a sack lunch, peanut butter sandwich or whatever, and walk out there. And sometimes we could rent a boat for like a quarter. So we'd pool our money and rent a boat and row around a while and then walk back. Well, there used to be a swinging bridge. A swinging bridge across a part of the lake arm. And we used to go out there on that swinging bridge. And of course you'd get on the bridge, and your older siblings would get you out there on the bridge, and they'd shake that thing. Oh yes, and you'd squeal and holler and trying to hang on, especially the girls. And it was always a fun trip to get on the swinging bridge. We wanted to go get on the bridge and kind of look around and see if there was anybody around that would swing the bridge. If there wasn't, we'd get on it, and here they'd come. They'd been hiding, and they'd come out and swing the bridge. Probably about a 20-minute walk from our house, there was a dairy. And this dairy, we'd go through the woods and go to the dairy, and had a creek down there. And we used to go swimming in the creek. We'd go through this guy's pasture there in the dairy. He didn't care. He'd let us go, and we'd go down to the creek and go swimming in the creek. And we used to go hunting in the wintertime, go hunting rabbits mostly. And we learned to clean the rabbits and skin them, you know, and get the rabbit and clean them and wash them up good, and then she would fix them and cook them. We enjoyed that, and we used to hunt squirrels, but we didn't get as many squirrels as we got rabbits. Well, we always had a slingshot. I was a good marble player, and I'd go, I got where I was so proficient at it that my own age kids wouldn't play against me, because we used to play for keeps, you know, you win marbles. And so I'd go down to the high school and play, and so the high school boys would play me, and I'd win, and I got where I'd win so many marbles, I had coffee cans full of them. And in the summertime, well, you'd shoot them away in your slingshot. About the only trouble we would get into would be somebody have a nice apple tree, where we'd go down and relieve that tree of some apples. We were pretty good kids, because there were too many people around watching you. Everybody knew who you were, and they'd tell your folks. And so you didn't stray too far from the narrow. But we used to, like I said, they had a vacant lot right next to us, and we used to go out in that lot and stay all night in the lot, which of course it was like a half a block from the house. And then we would get some of the other neighborhood kids to come out, and we would stay all night out there. How much sleep we got, really, I don't know, not a whole lot. We would just sit there and talk and visit, and finally we'd go to sleep. But in the mornings, if we were wake up in the morning with the sun shining and the flies after you, you'd wake up, and we'd get on our bikes or walk down to the bakery. It's about a 15-minute walk, and they would be baking the donuts and stuff early in the morning, and we would then get us a couple of donuts, and the guy was nice. He would let us buy some donuts, and somebody would have a nickel or a dime or whatever, and the guy really gave us more donuts than you could really buy for a nickel or dime. In our backyard, we had a big tree. In our backyard, our house had a big concrete porch out there. And this tree was just far enough away, and he bought us a rope, and we made a swing out of that in the tree. And we took an old gunny sack and stuffed it full of paper, and then tied that gunny sack onto the rope. And we would swing, get up there on that porch, and swing out and back. And if you were brave, there was a tree there not too far away. If you were brave, you could climb that tree and get on that swing and swing way up, hit the leaves of the other tree and back. And sometimes, you know, you'd swing out that way, and they'd say, well, come on and ride. So one would swing, and then when they would come back, you'd time it just right, and you'd jump on there with them. And two of you would swing back and forth.